Following our first lead and we get ourselves caught in a laser net. All in a day's work, right?
Smart Alex had a point, but I wasn't going to let him have the satisfaction of knowing so. There was one good thing about spending hours stuck in a laser net. You got time to think. Who is this guy? Who killed him? And what kind of surveillance was he doing right across from my apartment? And what's in the metal canister? Have 7 years really passed without me remembering it? Is it related to my head injury or the injection mark on my arm?
He dead?
Well, I think you missed a hell of a party.
Party?
Yeah, you're here in time for the laser show.
I wouldn't do that. I was here to meet Carlos Maldonado. Is that you? Or him?
Look, I just stumbled onto this little nightmare, and I need to find out who this guy was and what he was doing. I'm a PI, and I assume this guy is Maldonado. My name's Murphy. Who are you?
Mason said Maldonado was a PI. Were you working with Mason too?
I'll be honest. I don't know if I was working for Mason or not. Actually, I'm having severe memory problems here, so anything you can tell me about Maldonado or Mason or what's in the cryo-chamber here would be greatly appreciated.
I think I set off an alarm when I came in here. I don't usually do this kind of thing. I was just trying to help Mason. He said, come in here, find the PI, get the cryo-chamber, and keep it safe.
Hey, I found that first.
Slow learner. You have to find Mason. I think he's in big trouble with bad people. I don't know why. He's a neurologist, for God's sake. But you have to promise me that if I let you go, you won't come after me, you'll find Mason.
Oh, I promise. My fingers are so frozen I can't cross them.
If your memory problems are part of all this, Mason is the only one who can help you. So you need to find him and bring him back safe just as much as I do. I'll be in contact soon.
Man, those cops are getting close, but I don't want to leave this place with not even one crate of mixers. This guy was hardcore. Yeah, Louis once told me these rooms were not even one crate of mixers. This guy was hardcore. Yeah, tough break, hombre. Well, that might come in handy. I'll need to find a computer whiz to break the encryption on this memory stick. This equipment is surveying several different locations, including my office. This SOB's been living up here, watching my every move. This SOB's been living up here, watching my every move.
Strictly speaking, I would never encourage anyone to break the law, but those sirens are getting awfully close, and a life sentence for a machine can last a very long time. So move!
Nice to meet you, Maldonado. As I try to make my great escape down the ladder, I find two officials waiting to greet me.
Hello, boys.
Well, if it isn't Tex Murphy, what were you doing in there?
Well, it's a little hard to
Oh, you know the drill.
was really trying to get my hands on that surveillance equipment. Maybe I could see exactly what happened to me. Now the only way I'll find it is if New San Francisco's finest decides to play ball with me. I don't know why they'd start now, but I'd better polish up on the old Murphy charm.
Whether you're a mutant or a normal, San Francisco is our home. Be a part of the solution to crime. If you see something suspicious, please report it to the SFPD immediately.
Make it quick, Murphy. I got about a million things to do. And wasting time on you ain't one of them.
Didn't take you long to get in trouble, did it? You here to turn yourself in?
Well, first of all, no. And second of all, Danwich, you know me. You didn't have to send your goons down to get me. If you wanted me to come down, just ask me.
I'm surprised you remember me.
I may not have told anyone this before, but you're actually my favorite patrolman.
In case you didn't get the memo, I head up the department now. And things aren't as loosey-goosey as they were under Malden.
Well, I hope you're more helpful than he used to be. Look, I know this is gonna sound pretty crazy, but hear me out. This morning, I wake up with a massive head injury and an injection mark on my arm. No idea how I got either one of it. Then I talk to a few people, I find out I can't remember anything over the last 7 years.
You're right, it does sound crazy. But go on.
The thing of it is, my last memory is of me and my lady friend getting shot.
Your lady friend, that was, Chelsea Bando?
Yeah. How do you know that?
Well, I know your burned-out speeder was found a few weeks later with Miss Bando's DNA inside of it.
Damn it. It is true. Chelsea's dead?
We closed the case. Though a few of us thought something didn't feel quite right about it.
What do you mean?
Well, the scene was too staged. But I'm not saying Chelsea isn't dead. The last time anyone saw her was with you at the Golden Pagoda.
What are you saying? I was a suspect?
You were, in fact. I'd have to look at the case. You were cleared at some point.
Can I look at the case files?
Now, you know you can't, so don't even ask. Look, Murphy, I feel for you. But it was a long time ago. Chelsea was pronounced legally dead, and there's no evidence to believe otherwise. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Did you ever catch the guy who shot us?
No arrest. Somebody high up on the chain locked that case down and threw away the key. Even if I wanted to see the file, I'd have to pull some strings.
What can you do to help me out here? I mean, until I see something or get some information, I'm just not going to be able to believe that Chelsea's gone.
I'm sorry, Murphy, I really am. If you can find me some new clues on the case, I'll do what I can to get it reopened. That's the best I can do for you. Good luck.
No. I don't believe it. My gut tells me she's still alive. But I'll find out one way or the other. So why is it you think I came down here to turn myself in?
Well, we just found you at a crime scene with a dead body. That dead body happens to be Carlos Maldonado, a PI working the same neighborhood as you. Is that your way of intimidating the competition?
The name Maldonado means nothing to me. And I insist that you give me a polygraph test to prove it.
I was just reviewing your file when you came in.
Is that a lot? Because it looks like a lot.
August 2047, Beek Nariz, NSFPD informant. Beaten and hospitalized after providing information about Tex Murphy. Nariz refuses to identify his assailant. No charges ever filed. November 2048. Surveillance video shows suspected extortionist Jen Lee leaving the Golden Pagoda with Tex Murphy, never to be seen again. The case remains unsolved. Shall I go on? In the past few years, you've gained quite a reputation for yourself. You've got New San Francisco's criminal underbelly running scared.
Well, I find that hard to believe, but it's nice of you to say.
We arrest criminals so they could be tried in a court of law. We don't just kill them, and I won't tolerate vigilantism. If you didn't kill Maldonado, what were you doing there?
I was awoken by gunshots. I was just trying to find out what was happening. I followed the trail and saw that Maldonado had surveillance equipment aimed at my office. I want to find out what he recorded.
Who cares what he recorded? If you're such an upstanding citizen, you've got nothing to hide, right?
I wanted to find out whether he caught me scrapbooking. If that gets out, I'm through in this town.
I don't even think you're joking about that. You're free to go, Murphy. For now. Any questions? I'm not sure what to think of you, Murphy. I have no evidence of an abduction. Just a dead body and only one person of interest. It might be in your best interest if you could find out what happened. That whole neighborhood seems to attract more than its fair share of trouble. As far as the coroner and the commissioner were concerned, finding Chelsea's remains in your speeder were enough to pronounce her legally dead. She's an investigative reporter at the Bay City Mirror, one of the less obnoxious ones. I know Maldonado was a dirtbag, but unless it's in self-defense, killing somebody, even a dirtbag, is a crime and will be prosecuted. I'm not allowed to let you see it.
That encrypted memory stick probably has some useful information on it.
Oh, great advice. If you could help me break it, then I'd be impressed. Guess I'll have to see if anyone else on the street can break it for me. Rumor is Zach Williams, owner of the electronics shop, is tied to organized crime. Well, we've had our problems in the past. For example, the last time I was here, he shot my credit card into 1,000,000 pieces. I'm hoping he's in a little better humor today and doesn't blow my brains out, or even worse.
Okay, I don't want any trouble.
Well, fine. How much money do I owe you this time?
Why do you keep hassling me about that? That was years ago. I paid back all those interest charges. Plus interest.
You did? Well, I must say, customer service has gotten considerably better around here.
Everyone knows what happens to people who get on your bad side. Only one reason you ever come in here, and it ain't to buy anything. You know all our stuff is junk.
Is that the new electronic shop slogan? I mean, it's no wonder you're not getting any new business.
Why you busting my chops? You know what kind of business we're running here.
I just want to know what's going on upstairs.
Look, the guys upstairs don't want any trouble either. They said you can have whatever you want at cost. You can even put it on credit. Then I'll just tear up the bill.
Oh, no, I am not falling for that one again. I'm just here to find out about that dead guy upstairs and what he was up to.
Look, I know how much you hated Maldonado, and I probably shouldn't have let him use the second floor. But he was paying cash, and he kept a low profile. So I thought it was all good. I didn't know what he was doing up there, and I didn't want to know.
So how about you answer a few questions for me, and maybe things will end up a little better for you than they did for, say, Carlos?
You the man, okay? We good? Look, I told the cops I wasn't here, which is technically true. I just parked out back when I heard the gunshots, so I just started the engine right back up and got the hell out. You live there, so I'm not gonna say a thing about it. That place opened up a couple of months ago. Doesn't look like my kind of joint. I do love Louie's cooking. Just don't ask what's in it and you'll be fine. All I know is you ain't the same guy that came slinking in here 7 years ago. Sorry to hear about that. Is that what turned you into Mr. Badass? I think he's the one who came by to check in on Maldonado. Must have been a client. Don't know anything else about him. I sell items to customers, not purchase them. Sure, Maldonado was a creep, but his money spent just the same. He said he needed to do a stakeout of the Ritz. Didn't mention any specific names. Didn't sound like a big deal, and he was offering a good chunk of change. I saw him bring in some cameras, so he must have been recording the surveillance. But whatever he had got confiscated by the cops. Let's just leave me out of this, okay?
Rook's the little gremlin who runs the pawn shop. I've heard that his hard shell is hiding a heart of gold, but if it was, he'd cut it out himself with a rusty soup can lid.
Murphy! Here, let me look at you. Louis told me something terrible has happened. I've been worried sick.
Since when do you care about what happens to me? Don't tell me your little Grinch heart has grown 3 sizes in the last 7 years.
Oh, Lord. Please don't tell me that lump on your head has turned you back into the pathetic, pestering P.I. I used to know. This is a nightmare.
Now that's the Rook I know. For a minute, I thought you'd started carrying a song in your heart.
It's temporary, though, right? A side effect? Please tell me you'll be changing back.
Well, one of these nights, you're going to get visited by 3 ghosts, and it's going to be very scary for you, but then we're going to have turkey and everything's going to be great.
Look, Murphy, I'll grant you have some detective skills, but it was all relentless, annoying banter and endless questions to me. Imagine my surprise when, over the past few years, you turned into someone I could actually tolerate.
What's your definition of tolerable?
You cut out all the chit-chat and became a no-nonsense customer who pays in cash. You always seem to have plenty of cash.
Hey, sound like my ex-wife. How'd I end up with so much cash?
Well, how should I know? If I'd asked you that 2 days ago, you would have punched me in the face.
Well, I'd be more than happy to do it now, if it'd help.
Oh, very funny. I'll admit, Murphy, you do have a certain charm. It makes my skin crawl.
Well, if your skin crawls anymore, you're not going to have a face. So why don't you tell me what me and my charm have been buying around here, and then I'll get out of here.
All my transactions are done in strictest confidence. That hasn't changed.
You know, sounds like to me, if I get my memory back, you don't want to be on my bad side.
Fine. Though I don't know anything that could possibly explain what's happened to you. Believe me, I'd tell you if I did. Now I suppose this is where you ask if I mind answering a few questions. But this is not for old time's sake. You became a sullen, short-tempered bully. And I miss that desperately. I heard a commotion and saw a crazed man running willy-nilly down the street and 2 other men in pursuit. I was hoping they would tear that flop house down, and they would have too if it weren't for that meddling Clint. Such an upbeat, chipper little man. Utterly obnoxious. I went there once, never again. What with that herbal tea and incense, it's a veritable gas chamber. Oof. I knew she'd get nothing but trouble being with you. Louis's niece is an absolute delight. What she sees in you is an absolute mystery. A prince among men makes me wish I could still eat solid food. Years ago, after Chelsea disappeared, you came to me looking for leads to some valuable items, among them a lost Fabergé egg. You left the street for a long time. When you returned to Chandler Avenue, you seemed like a different person, darker, more dangerous. I understand you have a thing for holograms. Maybe she's just your type. I'm sure you know much more about that than I. Some say you know exactly what happened. That's the man you think was abducted? The one I saw being chased down the street? I never heard his name before you told me. What is that? Maldonado? He puts the P.I. in pig. I heard you two had something of a rivalry going on. Why would I know anything about that? If the police confiscated it, I suggest you talk to the police about it. At least he knows how to keep his mouth shut. Next question.
Now that Rooks is open, I'll bet his back gate's open too. Yeah, I used to come back here and shoot hoops until I threw my back out.
Ten seconds left. Down by 1. Murphy has the ball. He fakes. He drives. It's a 360. He's fouled.
Or was it my front? Well, it's not a Banksy. Lord knows what I could do with an anvil, but it might be useful. Lord knows what I could do with... It's Rook's hydropod garden. Whenever I see this, I think of Gordon Fitzpatrick from my Pandora case.
We've got to get this ship as far as possible from the planet Earth in that little time.
You know how to fly?
I know.
How do you know it even works?
I know how to fly. My father, a long time ago. Listen to me now, follow me. This is important. My mother's an American woman in Nebraska, but my father's DNA is in me. I know how to fly this ship.
He wasn't from around here, or even from this solar system.
Hey, what can I do for you, Murph? That Holly is a real spitfire. I don't know how I feel about the whole holograms of people too thing, but yeah, why not? I can't really talk about that. If she died the way the cops said she did, burned inside your speeder, it's just too much to think about. I keep a little hope that maybe she ain't dead at all. Or at least that maybe she died in a more peaceful way. I'm no good with that computer stuff, but that little fella at the barbecue joint is a whiz. I'll bet he could get you taken care of. You wouldn't remember him. He moved into the neighborhood a few years back. Not a pleasant man. I'll leave it at that. So that so-and-so was spying on you. You and I wasn't real close, so I couldn't say why he'd been doing that. Zach don't come in here a whole lot. I guess he don't like my food much. Yeah, same old ornery cuss he ever was. Don't bother me none. I guess I'm just used to it. Haven't had another food joint on the street since Francesca ran the Slice of Heaven. I thought it might cut into my business some, but not so far. Maybe we just don't have a lot of barbecue eaters around here.
As I step into Inspector Burns' barbecue, I think I'm having a stroke. But no, burning toast is their special today. Behind the counter is the kid who Louis referred me to as the computer whiz.
When you come to my house, come down behind the jail. I got a sign on my door, barbecue for sale. I'm talking about my barbecue. The only thing I say.
Welcome to Inspector Burns' barbecue. My name is Mojo. Special today is chili con carnage. It'll destroy your hunger as well as your taste buds. Order when you're ready.
I'm looking for little Mojo. Would you be him?
Hey, you're Tex Murphy.
And you're Mojo. What a shagadelic name, baby, yeah!
My real name is Mordecai Josephus.
Are you serious? Well, that's my real name, too.
No way!
Yeah, well, it's pretty close. It's actually Tiberius, James Tiberius. Then my mom, she starts calling me Tibby. And, well, I had to come up with something that I could live with.
The ultimate Tex Murphy trivia. You just made my day. Look, I don't mean to geek out on you here, but you're Tex Murphy. Badass private eye. Man out of time. Always quick with a joke or his fist. What are you doing in a dump like this?
I'm guessing you haven't won any Employee of the Month awards, have you?
Nice. Classic Tex Murphy.
Well, I appreciate you feeding my ego. Now, how about my belly?
Oh, you don't want to eat here. The food really will burn your face off. Inspector Burns is a bitter, bitter man. So, what are you working on? Wait, let me guess. Some kind of case just dropped in your lap. Seems like a small-time job, but there are tons of loose ends leading in all kinds of directions, and you are blindly getting nowhere.
Well, yeah, that is kind of what's happening.
Oh, I could help you.
Well, I could use a good caterer.
You are killing me. Look, Mr. Murphy, you fancy yourself as sort of a timeless classic, a PI archetype for the ages. You know your way around the crime scene, but it's no secret that you're not so good at high-tech gadgets. That's where I come in.
Well, now that you mention it, there might be something you can help me with.
I just can't believe I got a chance to meet my idol. Yeah, me and Archie are buds. So glad Archie opened up his shop here. He's like a god at all this conspiracy stuff. Chelsea Bando, the Nora to your Nick. I wish I could have met her. Inspector Burns has tried to torch the Bruin stew at least twice. Sometimes I spend hours just thinking about what kind of baby she and I would have together. Sorry you lost her, but man, did you ever get an attitude? Like Inspector Burns says, it all tastes the same when your tongue's charred. Comes in here all the time to eat just so he can complain. He says he likes barbecue, so I'm not sure why he eats here. You think Maldonado was spying on you? Not surprising. He's the guy you hired to take photos of your cheating wife. You're the guy they hired to beat the crap out of the guy you catch with your wife. Sure, I can decrypt a memory stick, no problem. It may take a while, at least a day.
Another item on my to-do list today is checking out Maldonado's regular office that's on the street. What the hell is that?
That's a SPO-pad, protecting the universe from imperfect life forms since 1967. It's like a mall cop with a 5,000 meter volt taser without a moral code. Be careful, Tex. I could get hurt.
The police have been here and set up a SPO-pad security system. Oh, it's a security drone. If I enter its line of sight, I'm toast.
place even sleazier than yours. And you have an animal print bedspread.
Emily? Oh, man. I hope she's doing this to get through school. Both Maldonado and I appreciate subtle storytelling techniques. Maybe we could have been friends, if you were alive. It's the only roach hotel where you have a better chance of survival inside than outside. I prefer Weenie World's tater tots. Well, even I wouldn't stoop so low as to reading someone's diary. Living, spying... Yuck. There's gum in this shoe. Hello?
Could I speak to Carlos? Tex?
Sorry, have we met? That woman knew me, but hung up quickly when she realized I didn't know her.
If we can find her, maybe we could get some answers.
She must have visited Chandler while she was doing business with Maldonado. Maybe someone around here will recognize the photo. Amateur. Larry Hammond wasn't really a mutant.
I wanted to make sure you came here alone.
Well, I hope you were more careful about being followed than I was.
Now, I have a very strong sense of self-preservation. I even brush my teeth carefully.
Yeah, it shows. But man, he sure looked like one. What's this? It's a key to the exclusive llama club. It's the depressed man's kitchen.
Wow, nothing is so simple or wonderfully effective as blunt force trauma.
It's real good having you stop in more regular. How can I help you? I might have seen this lady in here not long ago. Didn't catch your name.
You. That's a fine piece of humanity there. She stopped by the other day and checked out our selection. Took her about 2 seconds to realize it was all crap, so she seemed to know her stuff.
As I ring the bell, I expect Nilo, but another familiar face pops up from behind the counter. It's Clint. Looks like he's dabbled in some home plastic surgery to cover his empty eye socket. It's amazing what you can do with a tire patch, spray paint, and crazy glue.
Ah, Mr. Murphy, will you be needing some housekeeping done? I can't remember the last time we saw you around here.
Yeah, me neither. Don't know if you heard, but I had a little blackout.
I used to get brownouts. Louis' chocolate pie damn near put me in a coma every time.
So last time I saw you, Clint, it seemed like you were pretty loco for the cocoa.
Yeah, that chocolate stand was a bad idea. But it's all good now. I actually own this place. Bought it from Nilo a few years back.
So, whatever did happen to Nilo? Did he get busted for lewd behavior?
No, but don't worry. I got rid of all the hidden cameras.
Cameras?
Yep, this place was filthy in every sense of the word.
Where did Nilo end up?
You mean Nellie? He got a sex change. Yeah, I don't know. He tried to pass himself off as his long-lost twin sister for a while, but that didn't fly.
Well, you've done a bang-up job. You even got rid of the smell. What was that, anyway?
You do not want to know. God, I wish I could get amnesia for that memory. But on the bright side, we've exterminated most of the roaches and reinforced the foundation after the big quake last year. And finally got real fire extinguishers, so no more painted-on safety features. We're up to a 3-star cubic zirconia rating in the Mutant Leisure blog spot now.
So how did you afford all of this? I mean, didn't you normally eat up all your profits at the chocolate stand?
It's mostly thanks to you, my #1 tenant. You pay up front, and I always throw in a little extra to make sure I keep an extra eye on your place.
Well, math isn't my strong point, but I think you're out of extra eyes.
Did anyone ever tell you that you make it hard to give good customer service?
It's come up a few times.
You're paid through the end of the year, just like every year. You hardly ever hear these days, but hey, let me get my nose out of your business. That sounded disgusting. Let's change the subject. What can I do for you? You keep being my best tenant, and I'll be your biggest fan. Deal? The cops came by to ask me about that, but I wasn't here at the time. This may not be much, but it's mine, and I love it. Just get the holes patched before you move out, or I will keep your security deposit. Nice guy, but he's got some screws loose. Dumbest name ever for a shop. Look, I know I used to joke with you about Chelsea being in love with me, but that was just my jealousy talking. That's Louie's niece, right? Tall, brunette. Oh. I've got to steer clear of his diner. Too many chocolate memories. Look, I've had my own problems, as you know. I was in a kind of a dark place 7 years ago. Dark, bitter, sometimes nuts, raisins, or God help me, marshmallows. Nice girl for circuits and chips. We don't need to talk about that, do we? That was a real tragedy. Maldonado? Nothing but trouble. I steer clear of that hombre. Maldonado was spying on you? Are you sure it was you? That guy's all mobbed up, so I keep my distance. That little gremlin's never forgiven me for stealing his newspapers and using them for blankets. I haven't tried it. They say that the sauce will melt your eyeballs, and that's a risk I'm just not willing to take. I know for a fact I've never seen this fox before, because if I had, she'd be my lady love. Me? I'm just living the dream. One chocolate-free day at a time.
Hey, Tex. How's your case progressing? Let me check. I can confirm that Mason Bowers has been a registered guest here. Sorry, Tex. I'm not allowed to give out any more information than that. If I could smell, I'm pretty sure he would stink. Always looks like he's up to something unsavory. That crusty old perv is always coming in here trying to get a peek at my underpixels. I think the kid who works here has a crush on me. Maybe one of these days I'll rock his little world. Yeah, I've seen this woman in here. In fact, she picked up a piece of mail that's been delivered here. I might be able to get a name or address for you. Let me see if I have an image of the envelope. Yep, got it. I'll print it out for you. The Ritz landlord? Seems like he may have a couple of screws loose, but nice enough.
Holly sends the information about the mystery woman to my smart Alex, and I get a new location on the map. It's on the coast near Monterey. Whoever owns this place has mucho dinero. Cigarettes. Yummy.
The air outside feels thick, like I'm breathing through a pair of dirty gym socks. It's a high radiation day. Most everyone will be staying inside, but I need to hunt for some work. I always like to start the day with the traditional PI breakfast. That hits the spot.
Only the most prestigious people are invited to this club. Yeah, I bet some intense smoking competitions take place here. Nice cowboy hat. get in my speeder and realize I'm very wobbly and my vision's pretty fuzzy. I realize it's finally time to get this head wound checked out and some professional input on what's happened to me. And now's as good a time as any. I call a cab, and I'm on my way to the North Hill Clinic.
Where are you headed?
North Hill Clinic.
Well, I better step on it. You look like you're in pretty bad shape. Your eyes are really bloodshot.
Yeah, you should see him from this side.
Live around here?
Yeah, I do. Live the Ritz.
I've heard there's a lot of Morlocks in that area.
Morlocks?
That's what they call them. Some new crazy type of mutant.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard rumors that they're attacking people.
On Chandler Avenue?
Just rumors. But you never know. Things could get worse, sir. Sorry. I just wanted to let you know I was packing heat up here. Didn't mean to freak you out.
Well, that's fine. It's just the last time I got a ride from someone, they shot me, so I'm a little jumpy. It's a nice gun, by the way. I used to have one just like it.
I've had this for a long time. Some idiot threw it out his window.
The head wound is painful for sure. Maybe this Dr. Donahue can help me sort things out.
Taylor warned me you might be a problem patient.
You know, you really shouldn't keep these things on the floor. Germs?
I'm just gonna assume you've got some head trauma. Let's see what's going on.
Over the past few months, I've been having these really vivid dreams. I mean, they're so real, I can't even tell I'm dreaming till I wake up. What's happening right now kind of feels like that.
Do you want to know if you're dreaming right now? Ah! Yep, you're awake. So tell me what happened.
I woke up a few hours ago with this goose egg on my head and an injection mark on my arm. I've got no idea how I got them. As a matter of fact, I have no idea about anything over the past 7 years.
Well, you took a pretty good shot to the head. Enough to knock you out, maybe cause some short-term memory loss, but not for 7 years. Let's see that mark on your arm. I think we'll need to draw some blood. Everything on your form accurate?
Well, I think I said I exercise regularly and smoke sparingly. I might have got those two reversed.
Well, I'm guessing your bloodstream's full of cholesterol and toxins, but I'm sure we'll find something else there, too. Have you ever had an implant?
Nope. All natural.
Well, that injection mark concerns me, but I don't want to speculate. I would really like to keep you overnight for observation. You mind waiting around until we figure this out?
Sure. If we can get it done in 5 minutes. While we're waiting, though, could I ask you a few questions?
Let's just keep this professional, shall we? I don't think you could do much better. And yes, I mean that the way it sounded. I believe he runs a diner over on Telegraph Hill. I've dealt with many cases of amnesia, but nothing exactly like this.
After leaving North Hill, I get a cab ride back to my office. After a while, I'm feeling a little better, so I hop in my speeder and head out to the address of the mystery woman, who I hope can give me info on Mason Bowers.
Nice, this is more like it. Fun fact, this is a former vacation home for 3 James Bond villains. Goldfinger! Wah, wah, wah.
This coffee table's a special design. It's got a hidden drawer. This coffee table's a special design. It's got a hidden drawer. Hello. Hello. The 8 lost rules of etiquette. Rule number 1, a friendly greeting could open doors for you. Well, one man's trash is a PI's clue. Seems Mason was treating someone with serious facial deterioration. That's classic. These baseball cards are great collectibles. Baseball card? Heh, used to collect these as a kid. Hey, smoke no more cigarettes. I hear they have a smoking deterrent system built right into the cigarette.
Hey, buddy! Do you know 1,000 people stop smoking every day by dying, you moron? Kissing you would be like licking an ashtray. Get it, dumbass? Did you know that you and I are similar? We both are certified butthead. No, don't kill me. Have mercy.
Well, the system's about as effective as other systems I've tried. But I'll keep these in case I have a smoking emergency. Yeah, just the books. Now that was a terrible year for wine. Nothing I can use. Well, that might come in handy. Reminds me of the time I tried to cook meatloaf. The soothing, sultry siren song of Red Cat. Staring at this picture is more exciting than watching a game of baseball. I think that's upside down. Really? They found someone to eat this crap? That's a terrible place for a petri dish. This petri dish is encrusted with all sorts of gunk. I'll need to clean it off to see what's underneath here. That might come in handy. Well, one man's trash is a PI's clue. Surely, after all we've been through, you would not turn against me and turn to her. Looks like someone with the initial T was doubting Mason's allegiance. Another Mike and Ike Hammer candy comic. Gumdrops and lollipops. I'll put this in my comic book rack collection in my office. Lord knows I could use a plunger at my place. A remembrance of a much simpler time. Tsunami! Tsunami! Rummaging through trash cans can be considered a low point in some people's lives, but not mine. Yeah, I believe that's a towel. Let's see, that says B-A-B. Oh, bath. Nice. Pillaging must be one of their hobbies. This frame needs 9 baseball cards. Now I could use that. There's just no accounting for good taste. Yeah, that's about the only sailboat I could afford. Yeah, just some books. Wrong form of its. Come on, people. No, that's not important. Oh, sure, that seems impressive. But I bet you it wasn't nearly as difficult as obtaining my PI license from sulfuric acid. I better be careful with this.
I gotta admit, sometimes when you play God, things turn out okay.
Something very tiny is written at the bottom of this petri dish. I'll need some help reading the inscription. There's a past due notice here.
You're late, you bum!
Note to self, check and make sure I made my speeder payment. It's a Mike and Ike Hammer candy comic, Sleep with a Swedish Fish. Put this in my comic book rack collection in my office. An old Zoom portable music device. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, my mom got me one of these while all the other kids were getting iPads and iPods. I remember just how I felt that day. Wonder what happened to it. Oh yeah, now I remember.